knows we're worth it. No.
All right, welcome. I'm gonna pause the song in the middle and we'll continue it at the end. All right, folks, so today we're getting started with English. Welcome to everybody that's new here for the first time. This is gonna be really exciting. We have a lot of stuff to go through. But before I can jump into English, I want to review one thing that we did in math yesterday. So let me share a screen. Okay, you guys remember we did this question, right? So in this question, even when I was solving it, I made this mistake of not knowing whether it was A equals 1.2b or 1.2a equals to b. So it was unsure what's the answer. And this is exactly the trick that this question is putting you into. So I did a root cause analysis on myself, why I got that error, and I came up with an approach that maybe can help all of you. So actually the root cause is not a word problem to equation, it's the root cause is working with word greater than, less than, equal to, etc. So like word versions of this. So I'll show you what I came up with. So if you have if you have this, A is 20% of B, then what I came up with, we copied the words down. So A is A, is becomes equals, 20% is 0.2, of becomes multiplied, and B becomes B. So similarly, A is 80% of B becomes A is equal, 80%, 0.8, of is multiply, B is B. And if you want to get harder, A is 80% more than B, so you do A is equals 80%, 0.8, more than, plus 1. B becomes times B. Or sorry, more is plus 1. More is plus 1, and then is multiplied. And then let's do the other one, which is A becomes A is equal 80%, 0.8, less than. So less than is a little tricky. You put a -1 over here because you want this term to be positive. And then becomes multiplied, and B is B. And so hopefully using this approach, you will not go wrong in this mistake. So that's what I had to show you. That was the first thing. So if this is helpful for you, if you made the mistake yesterday, that like I did, converting this, then please write this approach down. This is important, so you don't make this mistake again. The SAT will test you on it. The second one, if you remember, was this question. One thing I want to stress, so more than 50% of you got the wrong answer. So you guys, I think you got this one, but this is wrong, this is right. And so the one thing I want to stress is just by looking at the options, you can tell what this question is testing. So looking at the options, you can see that this question is testing zeros. So you want to be extra careful when working with zeros. And so hopefully if you notice this, then you'll be extra careful in knowing that there's a 10 by 10 meter field, but there's only 10 students. So you can go back and check whether or not that's the error. Similarly, if we go to 4.2, somewhere here. Yeah, this one. Again, if you look at this question, you will notice it's a question that's trying to trick you on the working with zeros. Remember, we have that as a frequent mistake or a root cause mistake. So here again, you just want to be really careful because you know that the question's entire purpose is to just trick you with the zeros or not reading the question. So looking at the answers is helpful because you can figure out what the question is trying to trick you in and not fall for that trick. And you remember there's other questions with zeros. So I'll go back down here. Leave this up here. If you want to take a screenshot or write this down, this may be helpful for you. Super. Did that make sense? I'm gonna do a quick poll, yes or no. Did that make sense to you? Sweet, it made sense to everybody. Cool, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's get started with English. I'll do a quick poll before. My question is, did you make pure notes for math? So I've showed you pure notes numerous times. The question is, did you make pure notes for math for yourself? Okay. So I want to show you this, folks. This is important. If this is if it's the first time for you, then you may not have made pure notes. But if you've been here and you're not making pure notes, I can't stress you enough the importance of making pure notes. Like I'm giving it to you in a very organized way, and you're taking it and making it disorganized. That's not helpful to your learning. So please, please make these pure notes. They will be very helpful in SAT studying in the future, and that skill is also very helpful in your other subjects. For example, how many of you, the question is, how many of you keep both your notes and your rough work in the same book for your high school math? So do you keep your rough work and your notes in the same book for high school math? Okay, so again, more than half of you keep your rough work and your notes in the same book for high school math. So my argument is that's not helpful. Your rough work is not necessary. You don't need to have 20 problems showing you how to do integrations. You just need to have the pure notes, which is what you will be able to read right before the exam. That's what's necessary. So I would always keep 2 books for every subject I had, ever. I always had 2 books. I throw away the rough book and I keep my pure notes. It's all in my cupboard. Maybe I'll show you guys that one day. So hopefully you're convinced. And okay, math may be easy for some of you, so maybe that's why you didn't do it. Again, I still think it's beneficial, but we're going to English. English is overall pretty difficult for most of you. So the question is, do you vow to do the pure notes properly for the English section when we go through it? Will you make the pure notes properly for the English section? All right, thank you. So all of you are going to make the pure notes properly. Look, the type of review that I'm doing for SAT is only helpful if you really follow through and do the pure notes. If you don't do the pure notes, then you might as well just be enjoying your summer vacation or doing something else. So please, please, I'm putting a lot of effort into portraying it in a way that you can make it in pure notes. So please have your pure notes. For those of you that are just joining today, it will make sense. I will walk you through it. All right, so thank you. We will do pure notes. So today we're going to start with writing. We're not doing reading. We did math already. Now we're doing writing because writing is actually it's more teachable. There's just like a list of 30 to 40 rules you need to memorize. And if you know those rules, then the writing will be very easy for you. Trust me. We just need to get through these rules. So I've tried to make this class a little fun because going through writing rules can be a little boring, but there will be a fun exercise at the end. But I want you guys to write down or note down all of the writing rules that we go over. So let's get started. We have a bunch of rules to go over, so let's start and let's not waste any time. So what I'm showing you, please put this in your pure notes. So get your Google Docs out from before, and everything I show you must go in your pure notes. All right, so we're just going into writing rules. The first writing rule is sentence fragment error. So a sentence fragment error is something where a dependent sentence is on its own, and the correct sentence will be a full sentence. For example, he was bored is, let me fix that. Maybe you guys noticed what was happening. So he was bored is correct because he was bored is wrong. So let me fix that. Okay, so because he was bored is a sentence fragment error. So I want you guys to open up your notes, write down sentence fragment error, and write this down. And he was bored is a correct sentence. It's a full sentence. So this is what we call a dependent sentence. And this is what we call an independent sentence. An independent sentence can stand on its own. A dependent sentence cannot stand on its own. A dependent sentence on its own is a sentence fragment error. Next, so the way you read these slides is sentence, run-on error. So you read the first word and then the words in the bullet. So you have sentence, run-on error. This is the second one, which is where two independent sentences are joined only with a comma. And the correct way to join it is to have fanboys, you may have heard of this, for, and, nor, but, or, yet so in the middle. So for example, I like food, pasta is my favorite. These are two independent sentences. I like food and pasta is my favorite are two independent sentences, and they're joined without a comma. Therefore, it's a run-on error. So two independent sentences without a comma is a run-on error. Comma splice error. So again, sentence, comma splice error is when a comma splice is when two independent sentences are incorrectly joined by a comma to make one sentence. So I like food, comma, pasta is my favorite is also incorrect. So simply adding a comma between food and pasta, between the two independent sentences is not enough. You will notice the correct sentence needs a comma and one of these. So without anything between two independent sentences, it's a run-on error. And then I like food. Shiv, we'll come back to your question. I like food, comma, pasta is my favorite is a comma splice error. The last one is and error. Two sentences joined with only and is also wrong. So, oops. Okay. I like food and pasta is my favorite is also incorrect. Remember, you need a comma and fanboys. So these terminologies will be very, very important. So please write these terminologies down exactly as you see them, because we will do an activity when we go through the questions, and this will be very, very helpful. All of the writing section is basically these rules. If you can memorize these rules, you can get a perfect on writing. It's really easy. All you need to do is memorize these rules. There's just a lot of rules. That's the only part. Perfect. Okay, so you got these down. Let me do a quick poll if you got these down. Sorry. Okay, did you get these down? That's the question. All right, some of you are still working on it. You can also take a screenshot or take a photo with your phone, because I'm going to move to the next slide in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Please take a photo with your phone. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving on. Oh, there we go. Second is placement of comma. So now we're doing rules. So the rules are blue. So we have errors and we have rules. Placement of comma, non-essential phrase rule. That's an entire one rule. It's the naming we'll use. So correct sentences will have a dependent clause between two commas that can be removed and the sentence should still make sense. Commas that can be removed and the sentence should still make sense. So what that means is, my brother, when he was very young, would crawl under the desk. If I cross out when he was very young, it would read, my brother would crawl under the desk. That on its own is a correct sentence. So when he was very young, if I remove it, because it's between two commas, so it can be removed, and it's a dependent sentence, when he was very young is not an independent sentence. When he was very young is a dependent sentence. Therefore, if I remove it, my brother would crawl under the desk is a good sentence. And therefore, this is a correct sentence. So the non-essential phrase in this case is this phrase. It's non-essential. Okay, next rule. Placement of comma, joining independent sentences rule. So you can join two independent sentences with a comma only with fanboys. So we did the pasta one. So the correct way to join it is I like food, comma, and pasta is my favorite. You need both the comma and the and. You can also do I like food, comma, so pasta is my favorite. So is the S in fanboys, and is the A in fanboys. It's for and nor, but, or yet so. You should have this in your photo from the last one. I have left an empty bullet because we will keep adding things here. So please, again, take a photo of this. We will keep moving on. Do you have, so then I'm gonna do a poll again. Do you have this down? Have you taken a photo or written it down? Have you taken a photo or written it down? Okay, I know I'm going fast, but you guys are smart. You guys can write this down. This is really, you don't really need me to drill this in. And hopefully in 1 hour, I want to make your time useful for you. So in 1 hour, I want to go through as many rules as possible to make this the most useful for your time. That's why I'm going fast. Okay, so you have placement of commas, another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go to my favorite stuff, misplaced modifier. This is absolutely my favorite. So there's a couple ones. So error, what does this mean? This means misplaced modifier error. That's how you read this, misplaced modifier error. A word, phrase, or clause that is improperly separated from the word it modifies or describes. Correct sentence will put the modifier right next to what it is modifying. What does that mean? Oh, do I not have examples for this one? Okay, we'll get into examples. Let me show you an example. Here, when he was very young is a modifier. What is it modifying? It's modifying my brother. So when he was very young should be modifying my brother. That's why it's right next to each other, which is correct. So if it's not next to each other, then you would be making a misplaced modifier error. I'll show you some misplaced modifier errors. Misplaced modifier dangling error. A modifier that does not modify anything in the sentence. So if I say, I'll show you guys dangling error, so please just write this down. And squinting error, misplaced modifier squinting error. Modifier is unclear because it can be applied to two subjects in the sentence. And the approach to solve this is you identify the modifier, and then you move the modifier, or you move the subject. So, okay, a good example of a misplaced modifier error is she saw a puppy and a kitten on the way to the store. So if you say she saw a puppy and a kitten on the way to the store, it seems like the kitten is on the way to the store, whereas it's actually she that's on the way to the store. So the correct way to do it would be on the way to the store, she saw a puppy and a kitten. But again, I will show you a ton more examples. So just write this down, please. This is you just need to know this. You just need to memorize this. So relaunch, have you written this down or have you taken a photo? All right, folks, please take a photo. Just please take a photo. And then you can put this in your notes later. Okay, 10, 9, 8, oops, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So I promised you some examples. So let me share a screen. All right. So this is an example of one morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. So the modifier in my pajamas seems to be modifying the elephant. So it seems like the elephant is in my pajamas, whereas actually it's I'm in my pajamas. So what we call this is a misplaced modifier error. So the first error. These are just hilarious. You can just sit and Google search misplaced modifier errors all day. Let's see, what do we have here? A misplaced modifier walks into a bar for a drink that is dark, dirty, and run down. So the modifier that is dark, dirty, and run down seems to be modifying drink, but actually it's the bar that is dark, dirty, and run down. So you need to put that is dark, dirty, and run down next to the bar, not next to drink. That's how you make a misplaced modifier error. Here we have a squinting error. So students cook and serve grandparents. So here you could cook and serve grandparents. So you could be cooking and serving the grandparents, or the students could cook and serve. So we don't know whether cook and serve is modifying students or grandparents. That's why it's a squinting error. The modifier is unclear, and it can be applied to two subjects in the sentence. This is a squinting error. We have some really funny modifier errors here. This one's, okay, leaving Starbucks, the foamy latte fell and exploded all over the sidewalk. So who was leaving Starbucks? It seems like the foamy latte was leaving Starbucks. This is the modifier. I wonder, there we go, if I can zoom. Whereas leaving, it's actually I that was leaving Starbucks. So again, this is misplaced. Modifier error. Here we have irresponsibly texting while driving. The young moose was struck down and died. So it seems that the young moose was irresponsibly texting while driving because the modifier here is next to the young moose. So these are hilarious. The kind mother handed out bologna sandwiches to all the kids in Ziploc bags. So it seems like the kids are in Ziploc bags. So this stuff is really funny. I just can't get over these sentences. Here we have, when the pigs left their pens, I gave them a new coat of paint. So when the pigs left their pens, here, what's the modifier? Okay, it seems like she gave the pigs a new coat of paint, whereas actually she should have given the pens a new coat of paint. Okay, so misplaced modifier. Couple squinting modifier errors. So here we have cycling up hills quickly strengthens your quadriceps. So we don't know if you're cycling up quickly or we don't know if you're quickly strengthening your quadriceps. It could be either. Taking a moment to think clearly or taking a moment to think clearly improves your chances. Again, we don't know what is correct. Saving lives often includes pride, or saving lives often includes pride. So if you remember, in the approach, we had identify modifier, and to correct it, you move the modifier or the subject. So here the modifier is identified, and here you just want to move it to somewhere else. So you could do clearly, comma, taking a moment to think improves your chances. So you know that clearly applies to taking a moment to think. So you got these, hilarious. Okay. Dangling modifiers. All right. So dangling modifier is a modifier that is not, the subject is not there of the modifier. So having arrived late for practice is the modifier. A written excuse was needed. But the question is, who arrived late? We don't know. In the sentence, who arrived late? We don't know. Therefore, this is a dangling modifier. This is correct because having arrived late for the practice, the team captain, wait, is this correct? Yeah, the team captain was the person that arrived late. And you'll notice that the team captain is right next to the modifier. So we know it's clear. Here's another one. Without knowing his name, it was difficult to introduce him. So the question is, who didn't know? Because this modifier is modifying as someone that did not know his name, right? That's what it means here. So without knowing his name, It was difficult to introduce him. We don't know who doesn't know the name. Therefore, this is a dangling modifier error. And here it's correct, because Maria did not know his name. Yeah. It was difficult to introduce him. Here we know that didn't know his name was Maria. Let's do one more. To improve his results, this is the modifier, the experiment was done again. So who wanted to improve results? We don't know. Who wanted to improve the results? Not the experiment. The experiment definitely did not want to improve his results. The experiment is also maybe not a his, it's an it. So you can change this to he improved his results. So here, improved his results is right next to the object he by doing the experiment again. All right. We went through a lot. So let me do a poll. How are you feeling? Is this too fast? This is the question. Is this too fast? Okay, so it's pretty fast, I know. And I'm sorry. I can promise you that as we go along, we have 10 more days of writing, right? This will get committed to memory. So for today, all I'm asking is you take the photos, you understand the meaning at a high level, and later on, you put this in your pure notes. That's all I'm asking for today. This is an introduction. If you can understand, even better, you will understand this much. It will get in your head much better, and next sessions will be easier. But if not, that's okay. We're going to do this again and again. So let's take a deep breath. And let's go back into more rules. Folks, I'm sorry, English is like this. We will have to do more rules. So let's jump into it. These ones are a little easier. Okay. All right, so this one's a little easier. Verb and noun should both be plural or singular rule. So the students shout. The answer, this is correct. And the student shouts. The answer is also correct. Notice the S. So when there's numerous students, the verb shout does not have an S. And when there's one student, the verb shouts has an S. And you can think through this just logically as well. You can say, my dad walks, okay? My parents walk. So parents with an S is a walk without an S. Let's do another one. The sky falls, okay? And the skies will fall, okay? The building falls, and the buildings fall. So again, students with an S, verb no S. Student without an S, the verb with an S. So the approach here is, the approach is to just, one thing to know, sometimes the verb and the subject will be separated by a long modifier. So let's see if this is the case here. Yeah, so the brother and crawl are separated by a long modifier. And that's how SAT tricks you. Brother and crawl will be separated. So you just want to ignore the modifier and then make sure that brother and crawl is correct. Well, actually, this would be would crawl. If I change the sentence to my brother, let's change the sentence to, if I remove the would, then crawls has an S here. My brother crawls. That's what it becomes. So they just add a modifier to confuse you. Okay, let's go back. So that's what this means. So most of you know this. The SAT will just trick you by separating the subject and the verb. So you have a photo of this. So the question is, do you have this written down? Or do you have a photo of it? Nice. Okay, perfect. All of you. Sweet. Next one, apostrophe S dilemma. So this is the apostrophe S rule. Apostrophe S only for possessive. So the dog's bone was tasty is incorrect because the bone belongs to the dog. So therefore, the dog apostrophe S bone was tasty. That's all we'll do for today for this one. We will add more in the future. But also write this one down. And please keep your pure notes like this. So please write down this, indent, then write down this, indent, write this, indent, write this. You don't even need to write the examples for today. Today you can just write the rules and the errors. Okay? Do you have this written down? The question is, do you have this written down? Sweet, okay, all of you. Perfect. Next one, punctuation. So this is the colon rule. Clause before the colon has to be independent. So this one is very, very, very important. For those of you that did practice test 1, you will notice, I think like 5 questions were testing things on this page. There were 5 questions testing this. So please learn this one. That clause before the colon has to be independent. Has to be. So can drive, cars, boats, and trucks is incorrect because can drive is not independent. Can drive is dependent. The correct way is I can drive. This is independent. Colon, cars, boats, and trucks. Only the clause before the colon has to be independent. So the rule is clause before the colon has to be independent. Semicolon. So actually, let me add in what this is. Colon is colon. Semicolon is this. Okay, the way to learn this is semi means a half. So semicolon, only half of this is a colon. That's how you can learn this. And colon is a full colon. So that's how you learn the names. So a semicolon, clauses on either side of the semicolon have to be independent. Clauses on either side of the semicolon have to be independent. So my window is large, is independent, okay? Entire ocean is visible. Or actually, I think this is independent. Okay, this is incorrect. Okay, my window is large, independent, see entire ocean, not independent. There's no subject here. We don't know who is seeing the entire ocean. So the rule is semicolon must have independent on both sides. To correct this, we do I see the entire ocean. I see the entire ocean is an independent clause. My window is large is also independent. Therefore, this is correct. So please take a photo of this one. Okay. Do you have this written down? Oops, sorry, don't do this one. Stop, stop, stop. Do you have this written down? Okay, perfect. All of you. Okay, so this is all the rules I have for today. This is all we're going to do in terms of rules. This was a lot. So we will now do an activity to help you learn these rules and to make it more fun for us. Hopefully, if we have time at the end of this session, or if not, at the end of next session. So I will share with you a link. Okay. you should be able to click on this link. If you cannot click on this link, go to the website. Go to the website. Let me show you where. Go to the website. Stanford Test Prep. You all signed up here. www.stanfordtestprep.org. Scroll to the bottom, and you will see the link at the bottom. Okay? So when you open this link, what I want you to do is fill out your email, pick a random option, and then it will tell you one of the rules that we worked on today, and you have to put in a wrong sentence and a correct sentence. So my dad walk today is wrong. My dad walks today is correct. And then you submit. And once you submit, you can do this again. Let me edit this so you can do it again. All right, so thank you for submitting. Some of these are hilarious. Thank you so much for that. So what we're gonna do now is I will open up the chat. All right, we're gonna completely explode the chat today, okay? So what I will do is I will put up a sentence on the screen, and then I want you guys to write down in chat I want you guys to write down in chat the correct version and the name of the error, okay? Both the correct version and the name of the error. So now what we're doing, if you can put the errors and the rules away, what we're doing now is bringing that to the front of your head, okay? So we're memorizing them in this process. All right, let me share screen. All right, are you all ready for this? Let's do. All right, I will put the sentences in here. Write down the error and write down the correct version of the answer. Sweet. Okay, you guys are getting it. Apostrophe S dilemma. Perfect. And the correct way to do this is this. Whoa, what is happening? Okay, let's do the next one. What is this? Colon error. Perfect. Colon error. The answer is I. This would be correct. I love, chat is literally blowing up right now. This is awesome. This is so cool. Sweet. Okay. What is this one? This is a semicolon error. Nice. Because you have a semi, half colon, half comma, semicolon. And the right one is, I was exhausted. I need to rest. Nice. You guys are getting it. Okay. All right. Here's a new one. What is this? Oh, who put semicolon? It's colon error. Okay, good. Perfect. I lied. This is not a new one. We've already done this before. I was trying to trick you. Okay. This is so funny. What is this? This sentence makes no sense. Oh, careful. Is this correct? This is not correct. It's not apostrophe S dilemma. This is incorrect. This is plural singular rule. So either the students hate food or the student hates food. Perfect. All right. This is wrong. Okay. Remember, please, this is wrong. Don't do this. Because what does a student possess? That makes no sense. All right. Let's do one more. What? Okay, you literally copied my. All right, that's fine. Is this a correct sentence? Nope, this is not a correct sentence because what's the error? Fanboys? Needs fanboys. I love it. Whoever wrote needs fanboys, that's hilarious. Maybe we should rename that error to needs fanboys. I love sports and badminton is my favorite. Both of these. Sweet. You guys are getting this. You guys are getting the hang of this. It's perfect. Let's do a couple more. What do we have here? Nope, this is, what? Okay, I'm not sure. Hold on. Okay, let me do one more from here. this is a funny sentence. What is this error? Okay, you guys are getting it. Plural error. All right, I love this one. Is this a correct sentence? Folks, I'm getting a haircut very soon. I promise you. It's happening. I was supposed to get it yesterday, but it's happening. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? Okay, what's the rule? Can you type in the rule? What is the rule here? Which rule is this? Not comma splice. Nope. What's the rule? We did a rule today. The rule is non-essential. Non-essential phrase. This is a non-essential phrase. That's the rule. Non-essential phrase rule. Remember that one? Where is it? Non-essential phrase rule. So please learn this one. And then if I remove this, is this a correct sentence? Yep. It is a correct sentence. Oh, needs a full stop. Fine. All right. Okay. I added it. It's in. The full stop's here. I added it. Look. Okay. Tense is fine. Pulkit needed a haircut. It's fine. Pulkit needs. Oh, okay. You think I still need a haircut? Okay, I see what's happening. All right. All right. Enough. We'll do something else. Where is? Let's do it. Let's do. What? What does this even mean? What are you trying to say? What's the error here? Fanboys. Okay. All right. What is this error? What do we call the error? And error. Yes, we call this an and error. This is a sentence. This is an and error. Yep. We need a comma. Awesome. Okay. I think, is that all of them? Which ones have we not done? Oh, we've done not done modifiers. We did this one. We did this one. We did this one. Okay, let me see if I can find one more good one. Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. We'll stop here. Okay, folks, I promise I'm going to get a haircut. I promise it's going to happen. Very soon I won't be able to see it. Let me do a quick poll. Thank you. This chat just blew up. I hope this exercise was helpful. let me do a poll. Are you closer to having these rules memorized than you were at the beginning of class? Are you closer to having these rules memorized than you were at the beginning of class? Awesome, okay. And then another quick poll is, were any of these rules new to you? Were any of them new to you? Oh, by the way, 98% of you said yes to the previous question. Okay, the new question is, were any of these rules new to you? Okay, awesome. So many of you learned something new. Many of you maybe just got confused by the new naming convention. Don't get confused, please. I'm just trying to make these naming conventions fun. We will be doing a lot more, so hopefully you will learn something new. So here's what we have. Okay, all right. I have a couple minutes left with you guys, so let me show you that I am not just making this up. This is actually going to help you. So let's do, should we do an SAT problem? Let's do an SAT problem. Why don't we? All right, but you promised me, guys. You promised me you will use the rules, right? Please type in the chat that promised me you'll use the rules. This is a tricky question. So please promise me you'll use the rules. Okay, all you need to read is these spaces are usually started with standard office equipment, such as photocopiers. Okay, so as you're doing this, thank you for promising. Thank you so much. Okay, the way to do this question is you know a bunch of errors, you eliminate, oops, that's how you spell it, eliminate. Is that how you spell it? Okay, maybe. You eliminate wrong choices that make the mistakes. You've learned the mistakes, you eliminate the wrong ones. So please use the rules. This is a tricky one, I'm telling you, so please use the rules. I'm gonna do this one. No, you guys are getting it wrong. Oh, okay, maybe I didn't explain this properly. Oh dear. Okay. Folks, what's the colon rule? What's the rule for colons? The clause before colon must be independent. Is such as an independent clause? It's not an independent clause, my friends. B is not the right answer. Oh, nice. I see the B, 55% of you, so it said B. B is not the right answer. Such as is not independent. All right, so we will come back to this question, but I wanted to do this question. So hopefully now you believe me. The rules we go over, I'm not making them up. They are actually helpful. There's a question. So I guess the thing we learned from the question is a clause is anything between two punctuations. So it's not the sentence. Or did I have my notes incorrectly? Is that why you guys got it wrong? No, it said, okay, my notes say clause before colon has to be independent. Okay, so sorry folks, I tricked you. Clause, such as is a clause. It's in between commas. So that's all we'll do for today. We will go, the next couple of days will be very, very similar. So please come ready to just learn English, write them down, and then we'll use them in questions. Once we've done all the rules, then we will do a lot of SAT questions together. And again, really reinforce the same rules. You will have these rules memorized by the end of these 10 days on writing. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. I will play music on the way out. Let's play some Green Day. Wake me up when September ends.